Hello and welcome to Impact History Today. We are going to examine the Carolingian Empire, which under Charlemagne's rule represented a brief but glorious period of unity in Western Europe. Charlemagne, crowned emperor in 800 CE, had forged a vast realm through military conquest and skillful diplomacy. His empire stretched from the Pyrenees Mountains in the south to the North Sea, encompassing much of modern-day France, Germany, Italy and the Low Countries. This period witnessed a revival of learning, art and culture, often referred to as the Carolingian Renaissance. However, the seeds of division were sown even as Charlemagne's empire reached its zenith. Charlemagne's death in 814 CE marked a turning point. His son, Louis the Pious, inherited a vast but increasingly fragile realm. Louis's reign was plagued by internal conflicts, primarily fueled by his son's ambitions. The Carolingian principle of dividing the inheritance among heirs while seemingly equitable proved detrimental to the empire's cohesion. These internal struggles culminated in open warfare between Louis and his sons, further weakening the empire's already strained unity. The Treaty of Verdun, signed in 843 CE, emerged as an attempt to quell this strife, but it ultimately sealed the fate of the Carolingian Empire. The Treaty of Verdun, a landmark agreement in European history, formally divided the Carolingian Empire among Charlemagne's three grandsons, Lothair I, Louis the German, and Charles the Bald. Lothair, the eldest, retained the imperial title and received a long, narrow kingdom stretching from the North Sea to Italy, encompassing present-day Benelux, Lorraine, Alsace, Burgundy, Provence and Italy. This middle kingdom, intended as a symbol of unity, proved difficult to govern effectively due to its geographic sprawl and diverse populations. Louis the German, granted the eastern portion of the empire, established the foundations of what would become the German kingdom. His realm, known as East Francia, encompassed territories east of the Rhine River, including modern-day Germany, Switzerland and Austria. Charles the Bald received the western portion known as West Francia, which laid the groundwork for the future Kingdom of France. This division, while intended to appease the warring grandsons, had far-reaching consequences for the political and cultural landscape of Europe. West Francia, under Charles the Bald, faced numerous challenges. The region was plagued by Viking raids, which devastated coastal communities and penetrated deep inland via rivers. Internally, powerful nobles, emboldened by the weakening central authority, asserted their independence, leading to a period of feudal fragmentation. This fragmentation hindered the development of a strong, centralized state, leaving West Francia vulnerable to external threats and internal instability. Despite these challenges, West Francia gradually developed a distinct identity. The Languedois, a group of Romance dialects spoken in northern France, began to diverge from the Languedoc spoken in the south, laying the linguistic foundations for the French language. Culturally, West Francia developed its own traditions and customs, distinct from its eastern neighbor. The Carolingian dynasty, while weakened, continued to rule in West Francia, providing a semblance of continuity during a turbulent period. However, the rise of Hugh Capet in 987 CE, who established the Capetian dynasty, marked the true birth of the French state. East Francia, under Louis the German and his successors, also underwent a period of transformation. Unlike West Francia, which retained the Carolingian dynasty, East Francia saw the rise of new ruling families. The death of Louis the Child in 911 CE marked the end of Carolingian rule in the east. The dukes of Franconia, Saxony, Bavaria, Swabia and Lorraine, the most powerful nobles in the realm, elected Conrad I of Franconia as king, signifying the emergence of an elective monarchy. Otto then, Duke of Saxony, crowned king in 936 CE, proved to be a pivotal figure in East Francia's history. He consolidated royal power, subdued rebellious vassals, and expanded his realm eastward, incorporating Bohemia and defeating the Magyars at the Battle of Lechfeld in 955 CE. Otto's coronation as Holy Roman Emperor in 962 CE by Pope John XII marked a significant shift in European power dynamics. It established a precedent for future German rulers to claim the imperial title. further solidifying the connection between the German kingdom and the legacy of the Roman Empire. Section 5. Alternate histories. What if? The Treaty of Verdun, while a response to immediate political realities, had unintended consequences that reverberate through history. It is fascinating to ponder what-if scenarios and explore how different divisions of the Carolingian Empire might have altered the course of European history. What if, instead of a tripartite division, the empire had remained unified under a strong ruler? Could a united Carolingian Empire have withstood the Viking onslaught and prevented the rise of feudal fragmentation? Would a united Western Europe have fostered greater cultural and linguistic homogeneity, perhaps hindering the development of distinct national identities? Another intriguing scenario involves the fate of Lothaire's Middle Kingdom. What if this geographically challenged realm had endured, serving as a bridge between East and West Francia? Could a strong Middle Kingdom have prevented the rise of future conflicts between France and Germany, perhaps fostering greater cooperation and integration? These what-if scenarios, while purely speculative, highlight the profound and lasting impact of the Treaty of Verdun on the political landscape of Europe. Section 6. The Middle Kingdom, a bridge too far. Lothaire's Middle Kingdom, intended as a symbol of unity and imperial continuity, proved to be the most fragile of the three realms created at Verdun. Its elongated shape, stretching from the North Sea to Italy, encompassed a diverse array of cultures, languages, and peoples, making effective governance a daunting task. Moreover, the lack of natural borders rendered the kingdom vulnerable to incursions from both east and west. Internal strife further weakened Lothaire's grip on power. His sons, driven by ambition and rivalry, engaged in conflicts that further fragmented the already tenuous kingdom. Upon Lothaire's death in 855 CE, the Middle Kingdom was divided among his sons, creating the kingdoms of Lotharingia, Burgundy, and Italy. These smaller entities proved unable to resist the ambitions of their more powerful neighbors, East and West Francia. Lotharingia, in particular, became a bone of contention between the two, its strategic location making it a prize worth fighting for. The Middle Kingdom's demise highlighted the inherent difficulties in maintaining unity in an age of rising feudalism and regional identities. Section 7. Echoes of Verdun, Franco-German rivalry. The Treaty of Verdun, while intended to quell dynastic strife, inadvertently sowed the seeds of a long and often bitter rivalry between France and Germany. The division of the Carolingian Empire along linguistic and cultural lines created a lasting division in the heart of Western Europe. Competition for territory, resources, and influence characterized much of the relationship between the two nations in the centuries following Verdun. The Hundred Years' War from 1337 to 1453, a protracted and devastating conflict, exemplified this rivalry. Fought over control of the French throne and territories in France, the war had far-reaching consequences for both nations. It fostered a sense of national identity and unity, albeit forged in the crucible of war. The rivalry continued into the modern era, culminating in the Franco-Prussian War from 1870 to 1871 and the two world wars of the 20th century. The legacy of Verdun, while often overshadowed by conflict, also fostered periods of cooperation and integration, particularly in the aftermath of World War II. The establishment of the European Coal and Steel Community in 1951, a precursor to the European Union, represented a conscious effort to overcome the divisions of the past and foster a more united and prosperous Europe. Section 8. Treaties' enduring significance. The Treaty of Verdun, signed in 843 CE, stands as a pivotal moment in European history. It marked the end of the Carolingian Empire, a brief but glorious period of unity in Western Europe. The treaty's division of the empire among Charlemagne's grandsons had far-reaching consequences, shaping the political, cultural, and linguistic landscape of the continent for centuries to come. It laid the groundwork for the emergence of France and Germany as distinct entities, albeit through a long and often tumultuous process. The treaty's legacy is complex and multifaceted. It represents both a failure of unity and a catalyst for the development of distinct national identities. The rivalry between France and Germany, rooted in the division at Verdun, shaped much of European history, leading to both conflict and cooperation. The enduring significance of the Treaty of Verdun lies in its demonstration of the enduring power of history to shape the present. It serves as a reminder that political decisions, even those made with the best of intentions, can have unintended consequences that resonate for centuries. Section 9. Conclusion. A defining moment in European history. The Treaty of Verdun, signed over 12 centuries ago, continues to resonate in the 21st century. It stands as a testament to the enduring power of history to shape the present, reminding us that the political decisions of one era can have far-reaching consequences for generations to come. The treaty's legacy is complex, marked by both conflict and cooperation, division and unity. It serves as a reminder that the creation of modern Europe was a long and often turbulent process, shaped by dynastic ambitions, cultural shifts, and the enduring legacy of the Roman Empire. Thank you for taking this journey with us through history, and be sure to like and subscribe. Stay tuned in for more videos from Impact History.